Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about life-saving and personal protective equipment. Go ahead and get started on this. On today's agenda, we're going to be covering head protection, hearing protection, eye and face protection, respiratory protection, and fall protection. And we'll go ahead and jump right into this. We'll start off with head protection. Uh, Head protection. So employees working in areas where there is a possibility of a head injury from impact, falling objects, or electrical shock must be protected by protective helmets, also known as hard hats. Note, the employer must provide each employee with head protection that meets the specifications for the listed potential hazards. And we'll go further into these hazards on the next slide. So we'll start off with falling objects. Um, So hard hats are built with a suspension system designed to absorb the impact while keeping space between the head and the top of the hard hat. Thus, protects the head from objects that may fall while working on a construction site. Keep in mind though, if it is a really heavy object, chances are you're still going to feel it. Um, Next, we'll move to debris. So debris such as flying nails, wood pieces, or any other objects at a construction site. Uh, there's things flying all around. Your hard hat's going to protect you. Uh, Distractions. It's very common for workers to bump their heads on beams, pipes, and low ceilings. I know when I was working construction, we'd be in the bottom of manholes with quickie saws and not paying attention and hit our heads all over the place. And lastly, we have electrical shock. Hard hats can protect against electrical shock. There are different classes of hard hats, though, when it comes to electrical resistance. So we have Class C, which has no electrical resistance, basic hard hat. Class G are made to reduce the danger of exposure to low voltage electrical conductors. Um, these can resist up to 2200 volts. Uh, Lastly, we have Class E. These hard hats offer voltage resistance up to 20,000 volts. Yeah, so don't be this guy. Um, it, 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 I don't know what he's doing. He's not protecting himself from anything. Um, Always wear your hard hat correctly, not like this. That that means you don't wear it backwards either, as that could change the impact area completely. One could suffer serious head injury, uh, and it can result in short-term and long-term effects, such as memory loss and paralysis. So let's wear our equipment correctly and be safe. Noise levels. So, whenever it is not feasible to reduce noise levels or the duration of exposure to noise levels, ear protection devices shall be provided and used. High noise exposure within construction area can cause hearing loss. Um, some hearing loss can be permanent. This can happen from a one-time exposure or just over time, consistently being exposed to high noises areas. Um, Here I provide a little chart that you follow along with while I'm going over it. Um, let's move on to the next slide. There are different types of hearing protection. You got the expandable foam plugs ones. You ever walk into a place, or for instance, such as Webco, um, that's a place where you would want to wear uh, some hearing protection. They got loud pipes and very noisy. Uh, Pre-molded reusable plugs, canal caps. They have the deal where that goes around your neck. So you plug in and off, and then you have your ear muffs, which was shown on the last slide. Um, Double ear protection is not a requirement by OSHA. However, the research board recommends double hearing protection to employees who work environments equal to or exceeding 100 decibels. Uh, Cotton is not acceptable. It could pierce or make a hole in your ear, the eardrum, causing permanent hearing loss. So stay away from cotton. Next, we'll move into eye and face protection. So the employer should ensure that each employee wears the appropriate eye or face protection when exposed to eye or face hazards from particles, molten metals, chemicals, acids, and corrosive liquids. Side protection is required when there are hazards from flying objects present. If you have a prescription glasses, make sure you're wearing those. They make lenses that will fit with your safety glasses. It should fit snug and reasonably comfortable. Uh, some of the hazards associated with eye face protection. So we have environmental. This is going to be particles such as like dust. Out in a construction area, it's going to be a continuous exposure. Um, so just make sure you wear your eye protection. Uh, Chemicals such as soaps, disinfectants, solvents, cosmetics, drain cleaners, oven cleaners, ammonia, and bleach. And then we have lastly mechanical, like manually operated equipment such as hammering, chiseling, power tools, and other forms of machinery. Respiratory equipment. So OSHA states that any workplace where respirators are necessary to protect health, the employer shall establish and implement a written respiratory protection program with worksite specific procedures. So this, well, I have two listed here. This is air purifying respirators. They remove contaminants from the air through the use of filters, cartridges, or canisters. And then you have supplied air respirators, and they provide clean air from another source other than the work area itself. Um, some of the respiratory hazards associated with this are gases, dust, mist, and fumes. Um, Medical evaluations of employees are a must if they're required to use a respirator. Proper fit testing procedures must be put in place. Um, you don't want to malfunction with your equipment when you're down there. You know, like this guy, he's cutting with his quickie saw, and you know, like I mentioned earlier, I've done that a lot of manholes, and it is not fun. You can't see, and you're breathing that in, and it's good to have some type of respiration system. Um, there must be procedures for proper cleaning, storage, inspecting, and repairing. Procedures to ensure adequate air quality and quantity. Um, Move forward. Safety belts, lifelines, and lanyards. Um, these shall be used for any employee safeguarding. Any lifeline, safety belt, or lanyard subjected to in-service loading, as distinguished from static load testing, shall be immediately removed from service and shall not be used again for any employee safeguarding. If it's already been used, uh, it's already been used as safeguarding. Don't use it. Don't use it if it's defective. All right, lifeline should be secured above the point of operation to an anchorage or structural member capable of supporting a minimum of dead weight of 5,400 pounds. Uh, Lifeline subjected to cutting or abrasion shall be minimum 7/8 inch wire core manila rope. For all other lifeline applications, a minimum of 3/4 inch manila or equivalent with a minimum breaking strength of 5,000 pounds should be used. Um, Your safety belt lanyard shall be minimum a 1/2 inch nylon or equivalent with a maximum length to provide for a fall no greater than 6 feet. The rope shall have a nominal breaking strength of 5,400 pounds. All safety belt and lanyard hardware except rivets shall be capable of withstanding a tensile loading of 4,000 pounds without cracking, breaking, or taking permanent deformation. As you can see here, I have cause of death from falls. Um, yeah, I mean, you look at floor decks, that's 5%. Scaffolding, that's another 15%, which we'll see here in the next coming slide. Um, yeah, so always protect yourself from fall protection. Um, so, well, I messed up. Okay. So we'll just move forward for that. Training purposes. Okay, so these guys, I like this idea. It gives everybody a hands-on. Um, what would happen if one of your guys went down? It looks like they're trying to rescue him, and they're using a type of dummy. Uh, so this is good training. I'm not sure what these are. They transformers? I'm not sure. Uh, but yeah, it's a good training scenario. And this, I put this up here because uh, there's no warning lines. Um, on the back side of that, pedestrians can get into your construction area deemed not safe with all the foundation blocks up top. Um, the guys working on this project have no fall protection whatsoever. A couple of these aren't even actually, yeah, a couple of these aren't even wearing hard hats. This is an unsafe project. Uh, I would put a halt to it immediately. Um, so yeah. So in summary, we covered life-saving equipment and personal protective equipment, how to properly wear your head protection, the risk of not wearing protection or wearing hearing protection, and the health risks associated when not drawing or donning a respirator. And lastly, we covered fall protection equipment. This covers my video. Hope you all have a great day.